And for more on this weekend's pitch to Republican voters, let's welcome in Niall Stanage, White House columnist with our partners at The Hill. Niall, thanks so much for being here.
Good to be here, Natasha.
As we just saw from Joe Khalil's report, Trump's usual bombast on display at CPAC last night. DeSantis giving a more direct, more toned-down speech in California. If DeSantis does make his expected White House run official, can we expect to see more combative barbs starting to pop up from both sides?
Oh, for sure. I mean, right now we're in this peculiar limbo when obviously former President Trump has declared, Governor DeSantis has not. But Governor DeSantis is making every single move that you would expect from a would-be presidential candidate. Once those two men get into hand-to-hand political combat, it's going to be different from how it is right now. Neither of them are known for pulling their punches, to put it mildly, and they're both very serious candidates for this nomination. So it would be a ferocious firefight, I would imagine.
Yeah, and DeSantis skipped CPAC altogether this weekend, instead speaking at other conservative events in different states. What message is that sending by not attending?
Well, I think there is an issue with CPAC having become increasingly Trumpian in its flavour. People were joking that it should be called TPAC rather than CPAC at this point. Now, the former president, as Joe mentioned in his report, has a very strong hold over a significant part of the Republican grassroots. But CPAC moving so much in his direction, I think makes it a less appealing venue for other candidates. I mean, Nikki Haley did speak, but she got kind of heckled as she walked around the conference venue afterward. Others, including Governor DeSantis, Senator Tim Scott, Mike Pence, the former vice president, all choosing to stay away. I think that says quite a lot and does speak to a little bit of a diminution in CPAC's standing.
Yeah, what does CPAC moving in Trump's direction mean for the GOP as a whole? Does it indicate a more divided party?
No, not necessarily. It just means that the former president has a particular hold over that event, and that the people who organised that event have decided to cast it in his image to a large extent. I mean, I don't think, with the possible exception of Nikki Haley, there were really any Trump critics or dissenters from the kind of Trump populist MAGA line speaking at all this year. So it's clearly decided to be representative or emblematic of that strand within the party. There are divisions, but, you know, CPAC can do what it wishes.
At this point, who should President Biden feel more confident in facing in 2024, Trump or DeSantis?
It's a $64,000 question. The polls would indicate generally that former President Trump is a more divisive figure and therefore might struggle more in a general election. Now, there is a lot of differentiation in the polls. We're at a very early stage. But certainly if you talk to a lot of Republicans, and for that matter, a lot of Democrats, I think DeSantis is the candidate Democrats fear more.
At this point, are there any other Republican candidates who could make that push for that nomination?
Yeah, I mean, I've mentioned Nikki Haley a couple of times. I do think she's a serious candidate, but it's difficult to look too far beyond those big two of Trump and DeSantis. They're way ahead in the polls. They can raise money with absolute ease and abundance, and they seem broadly in step with where the party is right now. So the offering is really Trump himself or a Trumpian candidate with less chaos in the shape of DeSantis. Those two offers seem to be commanding the majority of Republican voters' loyalty.
All right, Niall Stanage, always good to see you. Thank you so much for your time.
You too. Take care.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.